Hello, welcome back to the Project Hercules Diaries. I like to do one video a week at the weekend, but this weekend we're away at the Oddballs rally in beautiful sunny Shropshire, and it's a pretty good do as well. So in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one we did earlier. Now I did promise I would show the wiring diagram for the Scott-Norton 1200cc square 4 two-stroke that Bob created, and this is it. Bob's very kindly given me a printout of the wiring diagram, and it's a thing of beauty. The work that's gone into this is really quite astounding. So drawn in 2011, third issue of the wiring diagram. It is exactly what you would expect from an owner's manual by Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, any of the big vendors, or the sort of thing that you would get in a Haynes manual. And it's got all of the right symbols and all of the elements that make up the electrical system for that motorcycle, which is brilliant. Now a lot of this isn't particularly of much use to me because I don't have 4 cylinders, I don't have contact breaker points up here, I don't have 4 coils and 4 spark plugs, that type of thing. But the level of detail is fantastic, even down to the colour of each wire, the rating for current of each wire. It's really good. The reason that I asked for a copy of this is that Bob's using the same Dynastart as I'm using and the same regulator. Now we don't need a rectifier because this is all DC. It's a DC dynamo and starter motor, but it saves me having to do some research on the net and find out how to connect everything up. So you've seen from the previous video the Dynastart connected straight across the battery temporarily to see whether or not we've got enough oomph to turn the engine over, which thankfully we have, but it's not a long-term solution. So obviously you need a starter solenoid or relay in there, and this is how Bob's arranged his relay, from the starter switch to the relay solenoid to the relevant poles of the Dynastart where the earths are, and then how the Dynastart DF and D plus connectors are connected to the regulator so that we don't overcharge the battery, and that's really quite important, particularly if I intend to use a lithium polymer battery, because they're a bit more expensive, but they're phenomenal batteries that really pack a punch and are quite light, but they don't like over voltage and it's easy to cook one. So I might be able to test my regulator with a variable voltage DC supply and make sure that it doesn't provide more than 12 volts if I take this up to 14 or so, and see what happens there. So that's really useful. I'm using the exact same Dynastart, so these labels here are the same as the connectors on my Dynastart, which is behind me down here, and I just need to know what to do or decide what to do about the wiring. It inspired me. I am going to draw up a wiring diagram for the whole chop the same way that Bob has, because it's a great thing to have for posterity and just a good exercise to do on a rainy evening. And don't you know it, we've got a few of those in store, no doubt. But as I say, this weekend I'm not doing that. I'm not doing anything this weekend because I'm away partying. So I'm going to go back to the rally, and as usual,
thanks for watching.
More updates to follow.
Cheers! Cheers!